now that they have Diddy in custody and he's getting tried for all of these things, they're gonna put the Tupac case on him because everybody, even Tupac was telling people about how Diddy was the one who set him up the first time people try to run up on Tupac. And so y'all gotta remember all of the beef that was going on between the East Coast and the West Coast. It was really Suge Knight and P. Diddy who was the main guys that was going at it at each other, and they was using their artists to take shots at both sides and everything. Everybody was wrong, but at the end of the day, when P. Diddy tried to set up Tupac with Keefe D and all these other guys that were involved in that whole thing, they took it too far, and now they got caught red-handed because the feds, they're gonna look into every little thing about P. Diddy, all the crimes, all the little things that he did that they're trying to get him for right now, because the whole world knows that East Coast West Coast beef was what directly led to how Tupac got hit up. And so the fact that even one of the guys, Keefe D, who was in the car, that was the car that was the suspects that hit up Tupac, he even said himself that P. Diddy personally wrote them a check for $1 million, and this is what he gave to them as like basically money to do the hit, and he put $1 million on Tupac's head. And so when you do something like that, a lot of people stood up to try to cash in that million, because Keefe D and them, he come from a whole side of life with organized crime, all of these type of things, right? Allegedly. And so that's why P. Diddy went to Keefe D and he used his right-hand man, Von Zip. Von Zip was the guy who was actually connected to the streets, and he was basically the liaison. He was the concierge for Diddy. He would, when Diddy needed a word to go to the streets, to go get this done, go get that done, he would have Von Zip do it. So Von Zip orchestrated this whole setup with Keefe D and how they were planning on getting the $1 million that Diddy wanted to put on him. And so they say, yeah, if Keefe D and them get the job done and they confirm that it was them and all this, if it makes the news and everything, then Von Zip was going to give him the $1 million. But they ended up setting up Tupac at that Mike Tyson fight and everything like that. It already had an altercation play go down, so they were ready to go. So by the time that Suge Knight and Tupac were leaving, it was already Keefe D and all his boys. They already rented a car, been following and watching Tupac the whole time, and they were trying to make a move right after Tupac stomped out their friend for trying to snatch his chain. And so once they were in that car, Keefe D and them pulled up, and that's when Keefe D said he's the one who passed the burner to the back seat to Orlando and the two other dudes in the back seat. So once they took off speeding, the witnesses, the girls from that convertible Chrysler Sebring, they seen what happened. They seen that it was Tupac and everything, and all they remember was that white Cadillac, and they remember seeing a guy that looked like Keefe D, because Keefe D had the fedora hat, he had on that suit and everything like that. So now they're putting all the pieces of the puzzle together, because they want to get the justice for Tupac and the justice for a lot of the victims that Diddy had wronged. So if y'all support Tupac, go ahead and comment, put the 222s in the comment section, because now that they have Diddy in custody and they're holding him for a long period of time, they can fully investigate the Tupac case and make a connection between what Keefe D already testified. Keefe D already said on record and testified and said Diddy was the one who ordered the hit to go down for $1 million. So they have to look at that, because Diddy, not only is Keefe D a suspect, but he's a witness too. He witnessed and seen the whole thing go down. So if he's even saying that Diddy was the one who set it up, then it must be true. And so now they're trying to find out anybody that has the details on that. They had to go back to all of these witnesses they had standing on the sidewalk. They went to the security guards of P. Diddy. You got to remember that Gene Deal has been talking about this for many, many years, over 10 to 20 years. Gene Deal has been discussing all of the ins and outs of Diddy's world, and how many people that he tried to plan to have getting taken out, and how many setups he went through, and how it all went down. Because Gene Deal, he was the guy that was supposed to be the head of security for Diddy. So he was there sitting in on a lot of conversations. He was right there standing by the door, and he was a fly on the wall. He overheard a lot of conversations of Diddy trying to take out certain people, of Diddy trying to tell secrets and stories of how things really went down with Kim Porter and with Biggie Smalls and with Tupac. And so now that Gene Deal, he sees that Diddy got taken down. He knows all of these things that he's been saying, and now the feds are going to go to him and say, okay, a lot of stuff that he was saying has a lot of weight to it, because he's got the proof, the evidence, and all of the videotapes of Diddy and these parties and these things that were happening. And so once we seen that video of Cassie and how he was treating Cassie at the hotel room, that's exactly the way that Diddy's gonna get treated now behind bars, because you gotta treat people the way you want to be treated. And so Diddy, he treated people wrong. He did all of these things to lock him up in his house and to scare him into thinking they were gonna get fired, and all of these things was basically Diddy trying to have this power, the greed and the envy and all of that. And so he had a power trip, and all of this was going to his head. He felt unstoppable. But eventually, in the long run, the karma and everything from the people who want to get justice, because Diddy had did so many wrong things, is finally catching up to him. And you got to start to realize that this is what will actually happen. Is going to balance itself out. All of the years of Diddy doing all these bad things, everything that was done in the dark is coming to light now finally, and people are starting to realize that Diddy's getting caught for this. And so a lot of his victims, they sat quiet for many years because Diddy was on top and everybody believed him, and if you were to say anything about him, he was going to make it to where nobody listened to you, nobody cared about what you had to say. But now that the feds got him and the feds struck him down, because the feds, they don't take somebody until they know they got 99.9% chance that they're going to get him into the feds and everything. And so that's why they sat back. They waited on Diddy, waited for him to do all of these moves. And then once it started heating up and Keefe D started getting talking and all, and they started looking at the proffer agreement and how he told about the Tupac thing, then they know that Diddy was the main guy. He was the main person who pretty much let all of this stuff happen without him like saying he wanted to put money on Tupac's head, without him trying to get somebody taken out. All of this would have never happened at all, man. And a lot of people would have been able to still be around. And so that's what they're looking at, because they know they got witnesses. They know they got the evidence on Diddy. And now they're gonna like literally lay down the hammer on every little thing, all the allegations, to all the people he set up, to all the other things. It's over 150 to 200 different people that have been affected by Diddy in a negative way, and now they're about to get justice. Now the revenge, it's not even revenge, it's just the sweet victory of justice, because Diddy been thinking that he would get away with all this, and now everybody's vindicated. Everybody gets vindicated because the suffering, they all were in the right and Diddy was all in the wrong. And now it's finally come time to get justice for everybody. And that's what's really going on and happening right now. So as everybody watches and pays attention to the Diddy case, just know they're preparing to charge him for Tupac, to charge him for Biggie, because they've been trying to solve those cases for so many years. And they actually have the guy who played a major role in putting the bread on these dudes' head. And he's the one that really benefited from all of them being like not being here no more and all this. And so Tupac should have been here. Biggie should have been here. They were trying to squash the East Coast, West Coast beef. Diddy wanted to keep this whole thing going, and Tupac and Biggie wanted to come together and actually get more out of this and be able to tell the community and the whole culture like they were the ones who was taking over. And Diddy, he was scared of that because he was about to lose his position, his power, if these artists had pretty much beat him to being number one in the game. And so that's why Diddy was trying to do everything that he could to scramble to keep his power, and that led him to get carried away and to do certain things that couldn't be undone. And now the karma is all coming back on him. So let me know what y'all think about this whole thing. Are y'all supporters of Tupac? Do you want justice for Tupac as well? Let me know.